Good afternoon, Don Kabbes. On the last day of our Great Lakes Grain Crop Tour, I want to thank all of our staff and all of our farmer and members that have been out in the fields with us looking at the various crops and how good our crop is. We've kind of taken a little different approach on a few of our fields this year with some aerial photography and kind of estimating yields. We really enjoy this time of year, getting out and seeing how good the crop is. I think overall, we're short 200-300 heat units this year. We may be back a little bit in planting date, and if you look outside the last few days, we're not gaining a whole lot of heat as we get through September. So we need a pretty long frost-free period, especially the further north we go, to make this crop finish. Likely going to see some lower test weights. That will have an impact on yield. Overall, we're seeing pretty good ear size when it comes to corn, good kernel counts, all those things. That is all looking fairly well. Soybeans, pod counts are a little bit less maybe than last year. We'll have to see where bean sizes come. But that's kind of how we're looking today. Just thinking about your marketing and where we would be at. If we take a look at a chart on December corn, it looks like we put a low in on December corn here back about a week and a half ago. Feels like that maybe is sustained, and today we've kind of bounced off that low. When we take a look at soybeans, we probably put a low in about mid-August, down into that 925 range. Looks like we've kind of bounced off of that to 965. As you all know, soybeans are all made in August and September. Kind of had a little bit of a rally this past week on cool, dry weather, thinking that may take a bit off the soybean crop in the U.S. Wheat has not been a pretty picture, as this slide shows. We had the run up in June and July from the drought in the Dakotas, and now we've come in and put in further lows. So it feels that the whole wheat complex is still oversupplied. The other thing happening this week in the markets is the Canadian dollar continues to make news. We increased interest rates earlier this week. It wasn't so much of a surprise that we increased them, it was a surprise that they increased them this soon, and trying to catch up with the Canadian economy. Feels that Canadian dollar continues to drive higher, and unfortunately that has a negative impact on your basis. Some of the things to look for next week: USDA comes out September 12th. Going to rewrite some of the supply and demand numbers, so have a look for that. We're not seeing much action today in the markets because I believe the USDA is kind of retooling. And also look for us at the Outdoor Farm Show next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to share our results of our work here this past week and see how big this Ontario crop is. It's really all I have for you. Thanks to everyone again for helping out, and we'll talk to you next week.